Mokume Gane is a Japanese term which roughly translates to wood grain metal. Similarly to Damascus pattern welded steels, different metals or alloys are stacked together and welded to form a laminate. This gives varying properties and patterns to the material. Mokume Gane in modern times is used almost exclusively in jewelry making, and a common material to work with is copper and nickel, as they give high contrast with minimal cost compared to silver and gold. American quarters are roughly 8% nickel and 92% copper, making them a popular source to make billets. To begin, the coins are first thoroughly degreased using acetone to remove any impurities that may impact the strength of the laminate weld. Next, the coins are stacked on top of each other and clamped in a vise. I opted to tack a small MIG weld on either side of the billet to hold the coins together during the forging process. This MIG bead will be ground off later during the shaping stage. The billet, once finished, is placed into the forge and heated until it looks like the layers appear glassy and begin to liquefy at around 2000 degrees Fahrenheit. This first heat may have been a bit too cold, but the second one was definitely hot enough. Regardless, the billet is lightly hammered to fuse the copper and nickel layers together in a stack. Once cooled, the billet is a homogeneous piece of metal. It is here where you could continue to forge the billet to make more complex patterns. However, I'm just going to make a simple stacked laminate ring to demonstrate the process. Taking it down to the belt sander, you can begin to see some of the individual layers forming after grinding. A half-inch hole is drilled and then expanded using a Dremel to fit my finger. Some sandpaper is then used to clean up the remaining edges to ensure a good fit. The ring is then shaped to size and the edges beveled to provide a nice smooth band. The ring, once shaped, is then degreased again and placed in a solution of ferric chloride to etch away some of the copper layers. This will enhance contrast between the nickel and copper. After a few minutes, the ring is removed and placed in a sodium bicarbonate solution to neutralize the remaining ferric chloride. I cleaned the ring off and applied some mineral oil to prevent corrosion when in contact with my skin. Typically, for an everyday use, you'd want to line the inside with a more inert metal like silver. However, I don't have any of this on hand and only plan to wear the ring occasionally, so some light mineral oil should suffice. And here's the final result. I'm personally a huge fan of the simpler band style, which has some interesting subtle contrast without being too overstated. Thanks for watching.